And that's how it starts.
They'll get addicted and they'll be doing YouTube videos in no time.
Negatory.
I could see it.
Negatory.
No.
I can see it too.
Yes.
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 See a whole lot of Gus.
I need YouTubers
That's
out
fine.
there.
Gus with some voiceover.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
can do Gus with voice.
Did you see the incredible Mr. Ed? Is it
Oh.
Mr. Ed?
I'm Mr. Ed.
Yeah, it's a horse of course.
A horse is a horse,
different
of course, of course,
Horse?
Of course.
Unless, of course,
of course.
you talk to Mr. Ed.
He's a
That's-
talking horse.
Of course.
The amazing Mr. Ed.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of
All right.
course.
All right.
We feel good?
Very good.
Quiet on set! Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Outer Belt Podcast. I'm Patrick, and you all know my co-host, Mr. Chile.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's going pretty good, I think. Is it going good? It's going good, right?
Oh, I'm asking you.
I think it's good.
And Jerry.
It's good. We got some great people in the house tonight. We'll start
do.
first with our producer, Mr. Jerome Barrow.
Jerome.
What's up,
Barrow.
everybody?
I think you know what's up.
I
They
know
can't
what's
hear
up.
us.
Yes,
I don't
they
know why
can.
we
They can
asked them,
always-
but they can't respond.
They always respond
They
to
always
the comments.
respond to comments. Always.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you should read the comments more often.
No.
Burn.
I got to find a clip that gets that a little bit shorter, or you know what I mean? Anyways, we got a great show tonight. I'm very excited. We have two of our very good friends on the show with us tonight. That is going to be Mr. and... Wait, no.
No.
Tim and Melissa, how are y'all doing tonight?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. And you?
Good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You can't hear a word y'all are saying. Okay.
That's a lot of wine.
It's a long show.
That's more than I've had all night.
Face yourself.
Face yourself.
That's yourself.
Thanks, no.
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. I am out of things to say. Vince?
Wow.
You had things to say already so soon. Wow, that's unfortunate.
That was pretty good.
Tim and Melissa are contractors here with Hyfield Trucking. They are also mentors on our FedEx Custom Critical Fleet.
They are.
And I'm excited to talk to them tonight.
You
We
are
go-
as
we go
excited
way
as an
back.
NPR radio host.
Well, that's kind of what I do.
I can tell.
I can do a different way. Tim and Melissa are contractors here in our Hyfield.
I'm really
Trucking
not
FedEx
comfortable with that
Custom-
way.
Hey, just so y'all know, we've got Tim and Melissa here tonight with us. They are contractors on the FedEx Customer Critical side here at Hyfield Trucking. They're also mentors with them. I am super excited to have them here tonight because we go, when I say we, I mean Luke Shire Expediting Adventure, Buttermilk, and I go way back with Tim and Melissa to before they got started. They were followers of ours, fans of
Yeah.
ours. Happy
Really?
to have you guys here.
Right.
So we got a studio audience here tonight with us too,
Do we?
which is larger than usual. Usually we have our production assistants, which we make watch the show.
Yes.
A couple extra guests here. Don, our assistant maintenance manager, is actually here in the other room
Yes.
working.
Working.
I was gonna say,
Working.
Where's Dawn?
Jimmy and Kelly are on vacation, so Don is working on a Friday evening at 8:30
Yes. And he will be all night long.
all night long,
All night long.
and Chicken too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun to have a live studio audience
Yes.
of people who've never seen this circus that we call the Outer Belt Podcast.
So you know how they say, not my circus, not my
Circus.
Monkeys.
monkeys, or
Right.
something like that?
Yeah.
So this is our circus.
It is our circus.
Oh, those would actually
is
be
our
your
circus.
monkeys.
There's our
These are
monkeys.
our monkeys.
Yeah. You didn't see it before you got here. We took them out of a barrel.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. Mel was actually saying it's really windy, so they could be flyers too.
Could be
Could
flying
be.
monkeys.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
No, so Melissa and
Tim.
Tim.
Yep.
I was just thinking, do you go by Mel or Melissa?
I go by Melissa because it's rare apparently in our group. It's you don't have to get them all confused. You
there's
can
so
just
many
know Mel and
Melissas.
Very many
Melissa.
of them.
They're pretty
So that
well
means if
behaved.
you were hanging out at the lot with my sister and Buttermilk, it would be Melissa cubed.
Do you
It
know
would
there's a
be Melissa
picture
Cubed.
from TruckerCon of the three of us together?
What is TruckerCon?
Yeah. What is TruckerCon?
That's what we call the expert.
Is that like ShuckerCon?
Oh. That's what we call
Oh.
Expert
If you just
Expo.
say that really
Gotcha.
fast, you get ChakaCon, and that makes me
Yeah,
laugh.
you do.
TruckerCon. Ain't nobody. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So you gotta love a good ShuckerCon song.
Ooh, you do.
So you got
really do.
Melissa cubed
Yeah.
at the
At
expo.
CubeSmart.
At the Cubes. Oh, so you got Melissa cubed smart.
Right.
Oh.
There you go.
There
you
it
go.
is.
Nice.
People are like, "What's
Ooh,
happening
what the hell's
here?
going on
I don't
here?
understand."
Yeah, these guys are usually on
People
top
have
of it.
turned this shit off
Not
by
really.
now tonight.
They really have. They really have.
It's Friday night, so this is our very first Friday night recording.
Oh,
We've
really?
never, yes. So typically, right now, we're sitting on the back porch, smoking a cigar,
Yes.
drinking a bourbon,
Yes.
discussing
do
how
that.
Did you
shitty
guys
the week's
wanna
been.
Do that instead.
Could be.
It's dead.
We could go do that instead if you wanted.
Well, the only thing that's keeping us from smoking a cigar is
This show.
the show.
Oh.
Okay, so they can't decide on who's more of a fan than,
That's
and
right.
so we're going to go with what I said. Melissa was originally the big fan of ours. She's the one that reached out to Melissa Buttermilk and,
Yes.
and made contact before they got started. We happened to be in their hometown, went to their home, knocked on their doors, and said, "Hey, we're here for you to take us to dinner."
Now, was that prearranged, or was it just like,
I think the story's better if we just say we showed up at their house.
I like it. I think it makes more sense,
but
right?
it's not true. It was
Well, the
prearranged.
no, the embarrassing thing was that you banged on their neighbor's door,
We did, yeah.
and their
did.
neighbor were like, what do you get out? What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
They didn't know.
Yeah.
They didn't appreciate me showing up at their
Oh.
He
door.
likes conversation.
But we actually didn't go to their door. They came and picked us up at the truck stop there, the Loves there in Jackson, Atlanta.
One of
I
Georgia.
mean, it's close enough. Yeah.
In Jackson, Georgia, picked us up there. We went into, did we go into Jackson?
We went into Jackson.
We went into
We did,
Jackson,
yeah.
found dinner at a nice little Mexican restaurant. It was Mexican, right?
I don't
Yep.
remember.
Right,
It was
right,
Mexican.
right on the square.
Yeah, it was Mexican.
And had a great
Yeah.
meal with them. We talked about the expedite business. We shared our story with them, and a couple months later, they were in Columbus picking up a truck, and ever since they've been killing it. This is what now? How long has it been?
2 years
Just
this month.
2 years.
Yeah, they've been
Literally.
killing it for the last 2 years, and we're super proud to have.
It's
known
been
them.
2 years.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Well, doesn't COVID just count as 1 year? Don't we all agree on that?
Sure.
Sure, COVID counts as 1 year, and then you have a year after COVID, and we're at 2 years. So
That's
I like
what
that
think I
math.
said.
I like that math. So welcome to the show, Tim, Melissa.
you. Thank
We
you
are
for having
glad to
us.
have you here. We're going to pick your brain a little bit
Okay.
about different things. I don't want to say about what, because then that ruins the questions, right? So
Okay.
we'll just pick your brains.
Does it ruin the questions?
I
or
would
is it
like them in
just-
advance.
I emailed it to you earlier.
I would like to be
Your
prepared.
publicist
I did
has
email
them.
them to you.
Oh.
Yeah, your publicist has
Yeah.
them.
Did you get
Yeah.
the whole? I only want the blue M&Ms. You get to pick all the other colors.
We
out
didn't.
back
We
from
did
my
not get
publicist.
that
No.
email.
Okay.
We send emails. We don't read them.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
That's
no,
what I
no,
know.
no. I did get
Please.
I did get them in my inbox. I did see that. I just didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, I did. I even opened them because I hate having the number there.
Right.
That annoys me. So I did. I saw them. I opened them. I just didn't read them.
What is your number on your phone when you look at it? How many emails?
How many right now?
Like, do you like it to be zero?
Zero.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Mine
these
is
people.
like dot dot dot. Like it has filled the line.
Oh. Some of these people I see and they've got like 6,428. You got 64,000 on
I
your
had,
iPad,
I had
don't
quite
you?
a few. No, I don't anymore. I'm at
Oh.
344 right now.
344.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But,
Have
there-
some
but
self-respect.
those are
Good
not
job.
business emails. Let me just tell you that. Business emails
That's
are in a
actually
different
that's
email
actually
folder.
Sears, Roebuck and Company.
It is,
That's
yeah.
they're still
Just-
sending him.
It's
Only
catalogs,
him.
Digital
Just
catalogs.
you. You
Yeah.
get the digital catalog.
I'm
Do you,
special
do you
like
go
that.
through it every Christmas
I
and pick
do.
your stuff?
I pick my toys.
right
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
This year
never
I'm getting a new
did
Lego
that.
set.
I do remember doing
I
that.
love the Sears catalog. Or the JCP,
Yeah,
JCPenney,
JCP. Yeah, I
the
love it.
JCP catalog.
Yep.
But of course, I had Toys R Us. You have Toys R Us? I don't know if that was a thing for you.
We had Toys R Us.
The Toys R Us toy
Toys R Us.
catalog.
That's
was
where,
great, too.
Toys.
like, where a kid could be a kid.
Tim's like, I had the wheel. I'm sorry. We
He
should
was
cut that.
Tim was a beta tester for the wheel.
Aw. No.
That's not fair. Tim actually delivers all our toys every Christmas night.
I mean, that was.
Which will not be coming to somebody's house.
All right.
I don't know. Coal's kind of nice right about now. The price of fuel and everything's so
Yeah,
high.
exactly. Exactly.
Isn't it funny? Like you're like as a kid, you're like a lump of coal, a stack of wood.
Yeah.
Grr. As an adult, you're like that's money.
Exactly.
It's so expensive.
Especially in Europe.
You gotta
Yes.
wonder. You gotta wonder though. How much has the feed for the reindeer gone up?
Not much.
No. So you're still
I'm
doing
good.
pretty good, Santa.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Appreciate that. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Sacrifice.
Gotta make sure they're well fed.
That's right.
It's important.
Well, you look great. I don't know what. Now, hold on a second. I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
Does that make Melissa Mrs. Claus?
It doesn't.
It
Not
doesn't.
very thin.
Not
We
very
covered
thin.
this
Okay,
We
earlier.
covered this already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Covered this
Yeah.
already.
Okay. Sorry.
Well,
I'm not completely
Yeah,
here.
we probably shouldn't go there.
I apologize
Yeah.
for my confusion.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
that's really cool that y'all got to meet each other. See, I never
Oh.
had that experience with y'all. Oh, what?
I forgot where we were. Okay, yeah. So we did meet each other. So I had a lot of questions before I came out on the road. And Mel did a great job answering them. She even made how-to tutorial videos.
We did.
Yeah.
Mel and I did make a how-to
Oh, yeah,
on
you
the
were there,
bathroom.
too.
I think I was the one.
Well,
holding
I
the
made
camera.
a how to what?
We knew how
With
to
a
use
bathroom.
the bathroom.
So,
Yeah, but Melissa made it seem like you had an issue with how to use the bathroom, so we showed her
No.
how that worked, and then we transitioned to the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of folks think that when you go to a truck stop shower, they are community showers, like a locker
Yes.
room in high school or middle
Yeah.
school or something, and they're not. They are personal, private showers. So to put Melissa's mind at ease, we took a video from the shower before we showered. We were still clothed to show that it was a private room and how
Luke Shucker After Dark.
Yeah.
nice they can be.
Yeah.
We didn't show her one of the
Can-
nasty.
can be,
unni-
yes,
the-
yes,
the-
yes.
the
Well,
nasty
I think
ones.
that matters. I mean, that's a crazy thing, but that was a huge concern of mine getting into trucking.
Yeah.
Was just not knowing.
Yeah.
So I remember we actually went across the river in Louisiana to, because that's a thing in Louisiana, you go across the river,
Across the river,
down
yeah.
the bayou,
Right,
other side of tracks.
right.
We got all those kind
All
of
of them.
yeah,
all
all of them. And we went on the new bridge, not the old bridge.
You went on the new bridge?
The new bridge, yeah, built in 1964. The new
Ooh.
bridge, and went across the river on the new bridge. And we went to the Loves, which was built in 1912.
Right.
And y'all weren't around for Nasty Loves, were y'all?
I hope not.
Oh, no, there is still some. That
There's
are,
still some,
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
Texas.
Yes,
Oh,
Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just all of it.
Amarillo.
No,
All of
no, not all
All
of
of
it.
Texas.
We love Texas. We're just kidding. But
No, no, we don't. No, it's terrible. Oh, do we have to
did
cut
you
that?
not know that
No,
God
we asked
blessed
Bronsky.
Texas?
I mean,
With his own two
I-
hands.
He brought down something from the promised land.
there was an Alamo and things.
There was an Alamo and things.
I didn't. Oh,
love
that has a basement. Oh, did you hear Pee Wee died?
what? Okay,
Squirrel.
so we'll get back to Pee Wee's Big Adventure in a second.
We
But
will.
first, so we went to the Loves and went and got a shower to go see what it was like, and it was disgusting, but it was private, and so I
Yeah.
was like, all right, if it's private, I can wear shower shoes, I can find a way to make this work. It's gross, but and then you get on the road and we found TA because there's not a TA anywhere near where I lived in Louisiana, and then we found TA, and at the time, a decade ago, TA was nice, marble showers. Everything was really clean.
Oh,
it
they
was
haven't
so
cleaned it
nice.
since.
They have not. That is true. They have not cleaned it since. I
They
do
still
agree
have
with
the
that.
same orange towels.
Yes, most of them. And not. I mean, like 75% of a towel. They just get smaller and smaller. They just cut the ends off.
Right.
Like, is this a hand towel? So, no, but that was our thing. So when we found TAs and they were so nice, we were like, oh, this is great. So we did a lot with TA, and then we bought a truck and started paying for our own fuel. It was like, oh, Loves is a much better discount, so we're going to go Loves. And by that point, Loves had started modernizing their stores or building new ones. And so it was like, wow, okay, so some of these are kind of nice.
Yeah.
Some of these are
Yeah.
really nice. And then occasionally you would be
Back in Texas.
back in Texas, and you would run into one that was like, ooh, okay. There have been a couple Loves I have actually opened up the door, looked in, closed the door, and left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's rare. It was rare, especially towards the end of our driving. It was very rare that happened, but it did happen where we were like, yeah, I'm good. I just, day 3, no shower.
Yeah.
But that was usually our mark.
No.
I could get up to. I could go up to 3 days. On day 3, I had to have a shower.
Yeah.
Day 3, I had to have a shower.
Yeah,
I
for day
preferred at least every other day.
Yeah.
But day 3,
Day 3
a
is-
shower's
it's
happening.
time.
It doesn't
Yep.
matter if I got to do it on my 30-minute break or
Right.
if I got to find one. So,
There was a gentleman doing it at the
The
diesel
pumps.
island the other day.
Yeah.
yeah.
Had the little hose running off the water spigot.
Sure.
And was standing there doing his
Grab
thing.
the squeegee. Get a good
Wow,
scrub
I
in.
didn't see the squeegee, but he had.
Well, you guys are good for finding different places on the road to
Mm.
do things, truck stops even.
Yes.
Melissa and I met up with you guys when you guys were on the road at
Yeah.
a truck stop in
Massachusetts?
Yeah, it was Massachusetts.
Yeah, and it was a small little truck stop off the road, off the way, out of the way,
We like that.
off the
restaurant.
beaten path.
do like
it
that
was a
one.
cool little
Yeah.
truck stop. It really
Yeah.
was.
They're
Yeah.
really nice people.
I like those little areas. So New England can be a tricky place because there are so few truck stops, and the ones that are there are very, very small. But we have found quite a few places that they have 5, 6, 8 parking spots, and we make it work. And sometimes they have showers, but a lot of times they don't. And those was always kind of neat, especially if they had the little like not diners, because they wouldn't have a full diner. They would have like a deli
Like
window.
a deli counter,
like a
yeah.
deli counter,
Yeah.
and they would make you stuff, and that stuff was always better than what those chain
Oh, yeah, definitely.
chain truck stops had. That was always
Definitely.
like
like a hibachi style grill where they actually fry eggs. That's a big deal.
yes, yes, things like
The
that.
egg hibachi.
And so I can't believe this. I saw this the other day since we're talking about truck stops. One of the truck stops we used to go to all the time in Lodi, Ohio, they pulled the Country Pride out of the TA. It's now an IHOP. So is Country Pride a thing in the past? Are they shutting
No,
them
we still
down?
see 'em.
No, yeah, we see them all the time.
We used to go all the time. That was the place you go in there, you get a meal. Your meal came with a salad bar. You go to a salad bar, get a fresh salad,
Okay,
load
not
it up
eating
with
a salad
a
bar at a truck stop. Hard no.
what?
Hard no. There's no world. There's too many people that are too short for a sneeze guard in the best conditions. There's just no.
Well,
No.
I never. Well, this was pre-COVID, so
Yeah.
I don't care if it's pre-COVID.
I mean, yeah, no. I mean, I see those guys, and they don't
never-
wash, and they just touch. No.
I never experienced that at the Country Pride. But I guess it was there, and I just didn't pay attention.
The
But
guy that tasted the soup with the ladle.
I never eat this. I'm not. I don't do truck stops for soup. Do you, Jerry?
Oh God, no.
No. Would you do a salad bar? No.
I have, yeah. I can't say I haven't.
Yeah. I mean, I always think about too, like the iron skillet. Remember their bowls were like cast aluminum or
Yeah.
something and
That makes
stuff.
a terrible
Yeah.
sound. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you eat out of it. It's terrible.
I always go back to that iron skillet out there
I
outside
got
of.
food poisoning from TA, and Don got food poisoning from the Petra there in Memphis. So
Well,
That's
okay.
Memphis.
Just
That's-
don't go to Memphis.
Well, that's
No,
your.
you
more-
may-
no,
you
no,
may
no,
have just
no,
gotten
no. That's the
Food
problem.
poisoning from Memphis.
No, that's the problem. Is if you're going to be in a place like Memphis, I understand some people don't like the city. I'm not one of them. I like Memphis, but if you're
No,
going to
the
go to,
city's
if you're
fine.
going to Memphis, get out of the truck stop and go get some barbecue.
Oh, yeah,
because Memphis
definitely.
has some great barbecue. And if you
Great
don't want
barbecue.
barbecue,
Solidly so.
if you don't want barbecue, Memphis still has some great restaurants. You
Yeah.
just got to go. Forget downtown. Sorry if you love downtown Memphis. I'm sure it's wonderful, but go to Midtown and have a blast. And you can call me and thank me later. Midtown, Memphis is so much fun. It's a quaint little like downtown 1950s vibe. Great restaurants,
check it
big open lawn, a couple parking garages if you have a rental car for the weekend or something like that. Because I don't know if y'all ever do the rental car thing. We did quite a bit back in the day. So our rule was always we get a hotel or we get a rental car. Never both, because we're going to be somewhat fiscally responsible.
Sure.
So either a rental car or a hotel, and it just depended where we were. So if we were in LA, we'd rather have the car than the hotel, because even with the hotel, you still got to have a car to get around. But if we're in like Boston, I'd rather the hotel, because their public transit's so good. I don't have to worry about driving around anywhere, and I wouldn't want to anyways, because downtown Boston, there's nowhere to park. So that's kind of how we always.
I don't know any of these rules you speak of, but go ahead.
Okay, well, this is just what Eric and I always did.
Yeah, no, it's
So
good. It's good.
That's kind of how we established what are we going to do on the weekend, how are we going to enjoy our free time, how are we going to enjoy our off time. So that's what we always did. So in Memphis, a lot of times it would be get a car. We'd stay in the truck, get a car, pop in, see a movie. Memphis has the Paradiso, which is one of the nicest movie theaters in the world.
Really?
I've thoroughly enjoyed that theater. They've got the full. Back when I went as a kid, and we're talking middle school, like a long time ago, they not as long as some of you, but still, quite a ways back. It was the first THX movie theater screen I'd ever been to, like a legit
Wow.
THX
Yeah.
cinema. So it was an awesome experience there. Fast track, a couple in 20 years. Eric and I went, and now it's a Dolby something movie theater. There's like
That's a lot of something.
300
A lot of
speakers,
somethings.
like 300 speakers, and like lights from different parts of the theater that shine according to what's happening on the screen and stuff. It was amazing. Such an immersive, wonderful experience. Love that movie theater. It's a Malco Cinemas theater. If you want to go see a big like Top Gun, I imagine would be freaking awesome in that theater. It's really, really good. Memphis, Paradiso. If you're going to see a movie and you're in Memphis, go to that theater.
That's awesome.
And it's okay when we come back and our truck's no longer there.
Oh yeah, Memphis.
Well,
is
you got to
scary.
be.
Yeah, we got to get out. a safe
By the way,
haven in Memphis.
you park in West Memphis, right?
Yeah, you don't.
Or-
Park anywhere in Memphis. Just don't park in Memphis.
Well,
so we haven't really
park in
explored
Batesville,
Memphis. That's one of
south
the
of
very
Memphis.
few places that we haven't.
Batesville's a bit of a stretch. You what?
We really haven't explored Memphis because it's such a freight lane that we can get in and out so quick. So we
True.
really
That's true,
haven't
very
chill
true.
there.
Yeah.
And it's mildly terrifying. Like I almost got into a fist fight. Like there's like that Love's is not okay.
No,
Don't
that
be
which
No.
one? The one
okay.
in the one in Memphis.
Either one.
Yeah, no. I
Any of
mean,
them.
they're terrifying.
Yeah. they both
So
are,
we always
truly.
parked at the Petro in West Memphis, and which now has an IHOP. They again removed the iron skillet, so we'd always stay there, or we would. Yeah,
I don't know if that's an upgrade or a downgrade.
that's a lateral move.
Lateral.
Nothing was accomplished by that. So we would do the we'll stay in West Memphis at the Petro, and they used to let us stay up front. Do they do that anymore? Are you allowed to stay up front in West Memphis anymore?
It was like they were backing up on that whenever we were
Okay.
towards the end of our.
Yeah. But I do remember I've stayed at the Loves in Memphis proper, next to the airport by FedEx headquarters and everything, and that is an experience. And even worse than that was even further down. The Pilot was just terrified. We lock the doors and
Yeah.
pray
Yeah.
no one breaks
Just
into your
don't stay
truck.
there.
But Buttermilk
Yeah.
drove by the Loves in Memphis proper one night, and the next morning she's like, "We're never stopping there."
Yeah.
Generally speaking, when we were parking in Memphis for some reason, we get delivered in Jackson, Mississippi, at the automotive plant there.
Yeah.
Or Canton, Mississippi, excuse me, which put us a couple 3 hours south of Memphis. We would move up to Batesville.
Yeah.
And that's where we'd stay because it was safe for them going to Memphis. And if we got a load out of Memphis, great. We got a load out of Memphis. And that was usually close enough to Memphis to get good freight. So that's where we'd stay because just Memphis proper, no thank you.
Yeah,
Although there's cool stuff to see in Memphis
Yeah.
to do, it just wasn't worth staying in those areas where you're worried about your truck being there.
Yeah,
and come back.
I mean that is the only place I can think of, the only city I can think of that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Any other city? I mean, New York City is even more comfortable at the
A
Vince Lombardi.
more, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're more comfortable
yeah.
at the Vince Lombardi than you
Yeah.
are in Memphis.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about a lot of these kind of places, it points out a little bit of my heritage, where I'm like from South Louisiana, from New Orleans, spent a lot of time in Memphis, like all that kind of just doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But I could certainly understand and appreciate. It is, it's just for me. It was something I got used to. You see things enough, you get used to it. Kind of like when I went to San Francisco or San Diego for the first times, and I got to see seals like up on the docks and stuff around the boats, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm freaking out. And people live there like they're
Yeah,
they're here
all
they're
the
here
time.
every day. Like, what
They
are you talking
smell
about?
terrible. Make
back
them go
tomorrow.
away.
And yeah, and I'm like, well, this doesn't exist where I live. Canadian geese don't exist where I live. Used to live. So like things like that. Of course, now that I live in Ohio, we have Canadian geese, and they can leave.
They make your lawn terrible.
No,
Yeah, they do.
they're nobody wants them. Not Canadians, Canadian geese. Let's be very. I don't want to.
Yeah,
not
they
say
brought you
anything.
Tim Hortons. There's Tim Hortons in Ohio.
We have Tim Hortons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how about that?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty good.
Tim Hortons has that coffee. They got me. They do a. They
I
do.
know. I know, like
They do
you're
a-
a bad New Englander if
oh
you
my
tell
gosh, they-
anybody, but I
They
mean,
do. They do
Tim
a coffee.
Hortons, way
I,
better than Dunkin'.
I love mochas. So like a couple shots of espresso, steamed milk, chocolate sauce. Love it. Tim Hortons. So I go there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get my mocha. Not think twice about it. I didn't order it properly, and so they poured the glass half full of their battery. I'm sorry, not battery acid. What do they call it again? Coffee.
Coffee.
They half a cup of their coffee, and then they put steamed milk and the mocha sauce in it, and I'm like, or the chocolate sauce in it. I'm like, that is not.
You made it wrong.
I'm like,
You
that is
broke
not.
that.
And they're like, oh no, what you wanted was an espresso mocha or something. And I'm like, who puts steamed milk in coffee like that and then puts chocolate sauce? Like from South Louisiana, we have cafe au lait because we're French, which is 50% coffee, 50% milk, but there's no chocolate sauce. You don't add anything to it, and it's got to have chicory in it. When they're like, chicken what? Like,
no, stop with the chicory.
What? No.
I really love New Orleans for all
Community?
things, and then you ruin coffee.
What?
Like the most basic,
So,
fundamental.
you may
amazing
not know
thing.
this, Patrick.
y'all, it's been a wonderful podcast. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
We can't get past this now.
You may not know this, but these two are coffee snobs.
Oh, we are.
And you
One-
don't
one
like
of-
I
one
would
of-
not say snobs. Community coffee is
Co-
excellent.
It's
Coffee-
unacceptable.
He loves
community
coffee
coffee.
is unacceptable.
Well, now we
It is
have a fight going
burnt
on
and
here.
funky
So,
and wrong, and that's
what?
not
One of the-
coffee.
No, community coffee is amazing. The breakfast bin,
I would like to
blend,
point
the
you to the
cafe
peanut gallery
especial.
that is agreeing with me.
They
It's
don't
not
know coffee.
acceptable. It's just not okay.
What don't you like about it? The dark roast? The dark
No, the-
roast is trash. I agree with you.
The chicory. Like,
Well,
that's,
okay, you,
Not all
but that
of
is
them
a
have
but that
it's
is
an
a they
interesting
actually have a
story
coffee
about
called.
how they did that. Like that's kind of neat for the history.
So I have community coffee at my house upstairs. We can go have coffee tonight. It doesn't have chicory in it. So
They
Is
do
this
have a
podcast
not-
going to be endorsed
not
by
all of the
community coffee?
I would no, I don't need it. I don't
I mean,
need
but
them to
we're
pay
open,
me.
like,
I
you should
would
tell
like to give community coffee all my business, take all my money. We were just in
You don't drink that.
we were just in Cleveland. Yes. Went to a,
yes, we were in Cleveland.
and we went to a Cajun restaurant up there, and I'm like, Cajun, what are they going to know? It was great. Loved it. Had a wonderful time.
yeah?
If you listened to the podcast last week, you'd know.
Oh yeah, we listened.
Yeah.
We didn't. We but we're gonna catch up. It's on our
Well,
queue.
yeah.
It actually, at the time of this recording, hadn't come out yet. But anyways, so
It's the one I'm still
We're
working
gonna
on.
get to that. It's in our queue.
so they I was kind of sluggish, big meal, a lot of carbs, and I'm like, oh, I gotta drive back to the house, a couple hours away. What I'm gonna do? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. I never get a cup of coffee after dinner. It's very, very rare. I'm just not. That's just not me. I like coffee in the morning, but that's really where it ends. And so I got a cup of coffee. Said it's really good. People like it, and I'm like, I took one sip of it, and I was like, wow, this is really good. Reminds me of home coffee. And then I drank it some more, and I'm like, wait a second. And I grabbed the menu and looked, and it's like, we proudly serve community coffee. And I'm like, of course it is. That's why
I
it
don't know
tastes
why
so
they're
good.
proud
It's
about
good old
that.
Louisiana. Oh, it's delicious. It's the best stuff.
How you feel about that is how I feel about Tim Hortons,
Well, see, now that's not
What?
fair
Where are
either.
you from,
I
by the
will tell
way?
you this.
North Carolina.
Tim Hortons in Canada is much different than Tim Hortons in USA.
Okay, so that's
Well, that's
kinda
because
true,
Canadians-
too.
Tim
Canadians
Hortons in
bro it with
Canada
love.
is much better.
Canadians do a lot of things with love.
Yes,
No, I
like
wouldn't
the
say that.
comedy.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But either way,
No, they-
Canadian Tim Hortons much better than USA Tim Hortons.
Well, all right, maybe. The last time I had I've had Tim Hortons here a couple times, but really the time before that was, I want to say it's a TA in Monroe, Michigan. Is that the one that has a Tim Hortons in it? I think it is. Monroe, Michigan. TA. Anybody? If you're
Just
listening,
break the third wall.
yeah, I
Did you
did.
break the
If you're, we there's our third wall. If you're listening to this podcast and you know if it's the TA in Monroe, I think it's the one with the Tim Hortons, and I remember getting a Boston cream donut and that the coffee bad experience I talked about. So let us know in the feedback if I'm thinking of a different one. It was in that area, but I'm pretty sure it was Monroe, Michigan, because I remember too being like Monroe,
It's pretty
Monroe,
close.
like the Shocks. And sure enough, the next sign was like Monroe Shocks, proudly made in Monroe, Michigan. And I'm like, huh. I thought that was someone's last name.
Yeah,
I
it
thought that
was
was
too,
I
actually.
thought that was Tim Monroe and his shock company. I didn't know that it was the
That's the one I
city.
used to have.
beforehand. Yeah.
So y'all do a lot of exploring when you get out of the truck.
Yes.
Y'all tend to go out and stay out for quite a while, but on your downtime, on your weekends, y'all spend a lot of time exploring and going and doing. I think it's so cool. Like, so we see a lot of people that come out and they get in our trucks and they drive, and then on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday, they spend all their time in the truck at the truck stop, sleeping, and watching TV or whatever, and they don't ever get out and explore. And the thing that concerns me about that is it builds a little bit of burnout, a little bit of frustration.
Yeah.
And I love it when I see people go out and have a blast on the weekends, make it your free day, make it your free time, enjoy yourself. And y'all have done an amazing job with that. I followed your adventures as best I can on Facebook or social media. And it's pretty incredible. What is the driving force behind that? What makes y'all really want to get out and do those things?
I mean,
That was part of the reason we started this.
yeah, I would say that was more than 50% of the reason why we decided to come out on the road to begin with.
Was to have that adventure and
Yeah, to
see
have
all
that
those places?
lifestyle and see the things and figure out where we're heading though. We've seen our house.
Yeah.
We've been there. We've seen that.
Yeah.
We don't need to see that anymore.
It's not that we hate it. We just
Yeah, we love our house. It's great.
we've
We
seen
just don't need to go
we've
there
seen
right
that.
now.
Yeah.
We want to go places where we have not seen. There's so much of the United States that is just, like Canada too, actually, that is just doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
And we try and really encourage our teams that we're mentoring, don't stay in that truck. In fact, we was talking to one the other day about how to do the TV. And we told them, we've never really even turned our TV on.
Yeah, don't be a
So-
Menti TV or team of ours and call us and ask us to troubleshoot TV. I don't know how to use
We
it.
call Vince and say, Vince, how
We
do you turn
did.
the TV on?
We called Vince and Mel and we're like, yeah, hey, I don't know how to do this.
Well, so of your adventures of going all over the America and Canada and seeing different things so far, what has been your happy place? What has been the place that you're like, if we can come back, we will, or every time we're in this area, we're going to come back here? Do you have something like that, or
We kind of have a couple of them.
Yeah. So, Alpaca Farms in Oregon.
stop it? I'm sorry. Did you say what?
Alpaca Farms in Oregon.
Yeah.
They have
and-
alpaca farms in Oregon.
Yeah.
Why was I never told about this? I love alpacas.
I do
So we
too.
actually have a little group message going on Messenger, and you can assign an icon to your Facebook Messenger, and it's an alpaca.
Oh, well,
Yep, the response is an alpaca.
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
Melissa is a knitter, a very good knitter, self-taught. And she likes to go any place that she can actually touch the fiber before the fiber becomes in her knitting needles.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's very cool.
So
So
we
it's really
look for
fun to
places.
find places like that and whale watching in Massachusetts has been a lot of fun.
Yep. So we would say the upper west, upper east coast.
Yeah, the Upper East Coast. I like West Virginia.
We do.
We've found
Oh,
some
yeah.
great farmers markets in West Virginia. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's
even-
good terrain too, nice and mountainous and
It is.
hilly. It's not, not flat.
I think that we've done a really good job. We were talking about like figuring out ways to park and renting cars, and sometimes that can be pretty limiting. Like finding the money to do all those things. I mean, we keep a house, we keep motorcycles, we keep other things. So
Yeah.
we got to be careful with our money a little bit. So
The
we
places we've taken the truck have been pretty.
like you told us to use it as an RV.
No, I understand.
And they took him literally.
We parked it in Red Hook on the street,
Yeah.
but we've had lobster by the pound right there. And it was
That's
really
right.
great.
Yeah.
Like we could see the truck the whole time. It was fine.
Yeah.
But if you can put a 40-foot RV there, I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
If you can put 3 cars there, we can put a truck there.
Well, and I see it all.
Especially when we push them 3 cars.
Yeah,
out of the
I
way.
mean,
Sure.
depending
Well,
on your
not?
parallel
And
parking
I
skills,
see
it's
it all.
fine.
Your mom took a truck through
Grand Canyon.
the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
40-foot RV, like
Yeah.
Like, so
No, but she literally drove through the canyon.
Yeah, through the canyon.
that's awesome.
I didn't know. No, she didn't. Can you imagine that? Anyways,
Do you know what the $1 Million Highway is? Should I tell him this? Should we not tell him this?
What is
We
it?
should let nothing.
what is
Moving
it?
on. Can we cut that?
What's the $1
out?
Million Highway?
Do you-
A place where your truck is probably not supposed to
It is as long as it's 40 feet.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay, it's fine.
It's fine. So Ouray, Colorado has really amazing roads if you were a motorcycle, but we're a 40-foot truck.
Right.
But it's okay. It fits.
Well, okay, so that was my frustration. So years ago, so when we got off the road, we got real travelers depression, if that's a thing. And so we did the most intelligent thing you can do, which is we went out and bought a 40-foot motorhome. Because why not? Spoiler alert, we don't own it anymore. But we bought it and went and did some trips and quickly found out, A, it's extremely expensive when you don't get a fuel surcharge from a motor carrier. And secondly, there's so many places that it's really hard to go. So it made me so mad. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park, which I love. Beautiful park.
yeah.
And they said no vehicles over 32 feet, something like that. And I was like, oh, that stinks. So as I'm driving, I see these 45-foot long Prevost tour buses on the exact same road I'm on. I'm like, now why can a 45-foot long tour bus be on this road, but I can't be there in my 40-foot motorhome? Like it used to.
You can. You just have to drive faster.
Yeah.
Okay, just drive faster.
And you just have to not let those people limit you. So part of the reason that we came out here was we had done a career, we had had a life, and we wanted to decide where we wanted to retire. And Atlanta was not that place. So we felt like the best way for her to do it was to get somebody else to pay for it. And so that's what we do.
It's you. You paid for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Technically, it's
FedEx.
FedEx, but yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Nonetheless.
The nod.
You
Yeah.
give me the RV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we take our truck respectfully and anywhere that truck will go. And we try not to let people limit us about where we can park or what we should see or what we should do while we're doing it. We be respectful of the fuel and the stuff that needs to be monitored, but we do not sit in gas stations, truck stops, anything like that. If we can go to a state park or a local park, or even the ocean, not in the ocean, but on the side of the ocean, that's what we do. And we try and find those places that are not trucker.
There's nothing wrong with truckers.
No, there's not. But
Oh, it's nice to get away from
Yeah.
that environment and do something different. You know, sitting in a truck stop is no fun. Watching other, I mean, the fun of sitting in a truck stop is you're going to sit in the front seat during rush
Yes.
hour in a truck stop.
Oh, we call that trucker TV.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a show. It's
Yeah,
it's
Board in Town.
it's a show.
yeah.
So it's fun to watch that. Otherwise, truck stops they stink. You know, on a beautiful day where you don't need air conditioning,
Yeah.
you can't open your windows because it reeks. So it's great that you guys get out of your truck and do different things
Oh,
or
yeah.
find alternate parking spots. And that's one of the beauties of our mentor program too, is that your mentees can learn those spaces from you,
Yeah, we
or even the Hyfield family of how you share those places with teams that aren't your mentees, with other teams across the fleet, and they can get out and do those things as well.
All right.
Yeah, we try to share a lot of that information, and we have a dog too, and he's not so down with the truck stops.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
boring for him.
Sure.
So we do a good job with
Cool.
finding places and things.
It's really important to us that we remember that this is still a job and there's work to be done. But that work just provides us an opportunity to step
Definitely.
into the lifestyle.
Definitely.
And I think that if you're able to embrace the actual lifestyle of expediting, that's when this really just starts to blossom. It just opens up. The adventures present themselves a lot of times if you're willing to look for them.
I think
Yeah.
that's the hardest transition for some people is to embrace the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you come from a trucking background or from a corporate job background or anything,
Anything, yeah.
to be able to embrace the fact that you make decisions for yourself.
Right.
You don't have somebody telling you what to do all the time. You make those own decisions, and you have to be responsible. Like you said a minute ago, understanding that fuel that is used to get from point A to point B, someone's paying for that fuel. And if you're not under a load, well, it's Hyfield paying for that fuel. So being respectful of that, finding
Yeah.
things within a certain range to be able to do,
Yep.
negotiating your freight so that you have that
Pay for
money
that.
built into it,
Yep.
right?
That's what we do.
Those
FedEx
are
pays
all
for a lot of
things.
fun
Yeah, and that's the thing they should. Panther paid for a lot of fun times for Buttermilk and I. So those are the things that are hard for people to kind of grasp and understand, and use that fuel responsibly, but also take time when you don't have a load to get out of the truck and do different things, and or not camp out at a truck stop. So
Right.
it's a challenge,
Absolutely.
and you guys have totally embraced it.
Yep.
Totally embraced it.
And we keep a list of it, a whole map that we send each one of our mentees and say, hey,
Oh, that's awesome.
these places are here. You just got to be willing to do them.
Yeah, I think a lot after the first couple of months, most of our mentees kind of call us as a, I'm here, where should I eat? So
Oh,
what
yeah.
should I see?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we try and encourage them, these are places we've seen. These are things that are interesting to us. But we want that to be reciprocated. So we
Yeah,
want to see
teach
what's
me something you find.
interesting.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
we want to see
Yeah.
what's interesting to you, what draws you here. And so we encourage them to do the same thing, to make their own memories, their own adventures.
We actually have a team that is amazing, and they found a campground in New York City.
Yep.
It's on top of like a high rise in New York City. That's a campground, and they stayed there and they rented bikes,
Yep.
and it was great for them.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we
Wow.
learned from them in that time.
So is it like tent camping?
No. It's they can park the truck there and it counts as a 40-foot RV, and with hookups and
Okay, so you got to explain how a 40-foot truck gets on a high rise.
no, I haven't gone yet. We haven't gone.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll send you a video.
We haven't been yet.
We haven't been.
Yeah,
we'll let them
we
do
gotta see
it.
that.
Yeah.
I'm
We
sure
gotta see that.
they watch this. They can leave it in the
Yeah.
comments.
And if you don't want to give up your secret spot, you could just shoot
And we
us an
do
email.
have a few of
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do too.
We do have a couple of secret spots where you're right on the ocean.
Yes.
You have to be a really good team to get that
When
from
I
us.
say that on the ocean, you step out of the truck, you're into the water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a super awesome find.
They call
That's
those
cool.
retainer walls, right?
I think so.
No, there's no wall.
Yeah,
Just
nothing.
sand.
Just
sand.
sand
Just
and
sand.
ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to pay to get the truck towed out though. That's the only thing. It's just
Yeah, it's
You
yeah,
just
it's
gotta be
right off
willing.
the curb. Yeah,
Yep.
you do. Make some people angry because they want to.
They want to park there.
You know, part of the way you avoid getting hit by a deer or hitting a deer is learning how to look for the deer.
Right.
It's the same thing with the adventure and the lifestyle, is learning to look for those experiences. There's many times where we just stop on the side of the road, even underload sometimes, look, see,
Right.
get about our business.
Yeah.
And those things, those opportunities, those times where you just stop for a second are some of the best memories we have.
Did you
Yeah.
guys think that you'd be doing the things you're doing when you first came out here on the road?
No.
I mean,
No.
I didn't think we'd make it 6 months. So Mel and Vince said, guarantee 6 months. Like before you even come out here, you're going to disrupt your life. We gave away our farm animals. We quit our jobs that we had been at for a very long time, and made some major changes to our life in order to do this.
Yep.
And so they said, guarantee yourself 6 months, so you don't fight your way out. You don't, divorce out in 6
Right.
months or whatever. And that had been one of the best tips that we have taken. We actually said a year with
Yeah.
everything that we lost. We said a year that we would gain more than we would lose, and we definitely have.
When you
for sure.
when you hit that 1 year mark, did you actually stop and take a break and look back, or like Melissa and I we had a 6 month plan. We promised ourselves that we were going to commit 6 months to expediting. If we broke up at 2 months, we were going to still put in our 6 months because
Yeah.
we wanted to try and make it work. And if the relationship fell apart, it fell apart. We were going to still do our 6 months because we gave up our home.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
nothing to go back to if we weren't on the truck. And we got to like 9 months and go, oh, we said we'd give ourselves 6 months to do this, and we're at 9 months now. I guess we're going to keep going.
yeah.
Did you find yourselves at that 1 year looking back, or did you find yourselves at 15 months going, oh, we're past the year mark?
So kind of, sort of. I mean, so it also lines up with our anniversary.
A
So
little of both.
Okay.
we had a lot of reflection
All
at
right.
that time. But, we got a great deal. When we came here, we received a great deal. And so we wanted to make sure that we were being mindful of all the things that you guys were putting into us as well.
Awesome.
And
Yeah,
we had,
The mentor program, the opportunities that are
for
here
sure, the mentor program.
are great.
We
asset.
had the best mentor ever. And
Yes,
she
that's
listens
true.
to the show.
That's true.
She was the very best human
Give
ever.
your mentors a shout out.
Yeah, Dina.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dina, I don't even know what would have happened if it wasn't Dina. Dina was instant family. Dina, we know her mom, we know her kids, we know her grandkids.
Yeah.
Like, Dina became instantly our family, and she taught us so much about everything out here. And I think that letter came, we got an email one day, you're no longer in the mentor program. And she sent it, and we forwarded it back to her and said, haha. We still call her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still our mentor. There's still days that we still are like, yeah, she's amazing.
That's the kind of thing that I think about when I hear hashtag Hyfield Family, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that you said Dina is family.
Right.
You know her mom, you know her
Yes.
kids. And you're not going to get that with every mentor.
No.
It's just not that way. But every mentee that you have as mentors, they become family. You care about them.
Absolutely.
You know,
even the
and-
ones that don't call.
Yeah.
Like, listen to
Right.
this if you are listening to this.
Sure.
Even
Yeah.
the ones that don't call, we care about you.
And I still talk to teams today that we mentored back when Melissa and I were on the road and we're mentors.
Right.
And we either shoot the breeze and sometimes we talk business. I was talking to a driver today, a current mentor, and he was telling me something that he was thinking about doing, and I questioned it, and I said, hey, are you sure you've thought through this and this and this? And he's like, yeah, not really yet, but that's on the mind. And I go, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't do that, but if you tell me that's what you want to do and you've thought it through, go for it. Go do your thing, and handle your business and do it. Well, I'm not here to tell you not to.
Right.
I just want to make sure you're thinking through it, kind of thing,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing too I like about the mentor program is kind of like what you just said. You learn from the best, right? And you've had the best experience. And we've had a few people on this show so far, and they all also learn from the best.
Right.
Sure.
And they themselves are mentors, and their teams. A lot of them would say that they're the best. And when we meet people and we talk to them, I commonly hear we have the best mentors.
Yeah.
We have the best mentors. So I think that's high praise because we've been able to cherry pick our absolute, cream of the crop, and really, I mean, and there's still quite a few teams that I think could be mentors and maybe will be at some point. They're just
Yeah.
not there yet. But we have gone out and said, I specifically want you, and have been able to get that. And so we're not just randomly taking people and saying like, hey, you be a mentor. Like there is so much thought.
Oh yeah.
There is so much attention into pulling this together, and we still let it be a team effort. And there's a couple teams out there that we've talked to before that have turned us down. They're like, we love the mentor program, but we don't want to be mentors for whatever reason. Maybe it's life issues. Maybe they don't have the outgoing personality to do it, or what have you. There's some reason they don't want to do it, but they would be great at it. But I think it's such a testament that everybody has that same experience if you let it be. And it's actually been to the detriment. We've had teams say, when they come on board, hey, we want to have this particular mentor
Right.
because we have a friend who is that person, and they say they're the best, and we want to have that. And it's like, that's not going to work because they're too full or whatever. Because we do limit the size of the mentor-mentee
thank you.
ratio. We do
Because
keep
there
it.
could be a lot if you didn't.
Absolutely,
Could
we
be a
do. We
lot.
do limit the size of it, and also it's not just total size, but also if you have too many new teams,
Yeah.
because a new team is so much more demanding than an older team, which is fine. If you're a new team and you're listening to this, that's fine. We know that. That's how it's designed.
We want that.
Yes.
We want you to be more demanding
Sure.
the
Absolutely.
first few months.
And so it's like it's just funny the way it all kind of plays out. And yes, the number one thing I hear from my mentors, the number one thing we hear, what was the number one gripe you think a mentor has? Because it's probably your number one gripe.
Teams that don't call enough.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, that is absolutely our number one gripe. Like, I want you to succeed. I know how often I called Dina. Like, you can't be
You can't
more
call enough.
annoying
Right.
And we
than
tell
I
them
was
all
to
that
Dina.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and we do tell people like we expect for you to need us a whole lot.
Yeah.
And so when you stop calling and we can see your board on the back end. If you didn't know, we can see your board on the back end,
Yeah.
and we can see that you're not doing as good as you could be doing.
Absolutely.
We know who you are by now. Like we know what you are capable of, and when we see you fail, we get sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
you learn.
sucks.
And you learn your people. You learn the goals they have. You learn what they're shooting for, what they're comfortable doing, what they're not comfortable doing. I remember that because originally, like I don't want to. I'm not the original mentor, but I played that role when we first started the company, right? And I remember learning teams and learning like
Right.
I would have taken that load, or I would have negotiated that price on that load, and I know why you didn't,
Yeah.
because this particular thing about you is you don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And because I've learned you, I'm okay with it. I can sleep at night
Sure.
because we have that relationship. I understand that's your thing. But I also see, hey, you could have done this better than, and it is something that fits your parameters. Well, then let's have a chat about it. Yeah, you did something wrong
No,
or
but
right,
That's a teaching
Yeah.
moment,
but
right?
let's
Yeah.
have a conversation because maybe there's something I didn't catch, and that does happen sometimes. You maybe
Totally.
you talk to a team and you're like, hey, why don't y'all do this? And they're like, oh, X, Y, or Z, and you're like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Cool, glad we
Yep.
had the conversation.
Been there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
totally all about
certainly.
you're taking cheap freight to go see, your brother.
Right.
Like that
Right.
that makes sense.
Absolutely.
But you're taking cheap freight because you
To
freaked
survive.
out and you got FOMO. Like
Yes.
we gotta
Yeah,
fix
can't
that.
do
We
that.
can come
Yep.
back in with it
do
for
that.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And then we commonly get the whole like, well, we need to make X number of dollars per mile, all miles, this whole thing. And it's like, okay, I get that. But when you're in, I don't know, Great Falls, Montana, maybe we're not going to hold out for that.
Right. Yeah.
Don't be in Great Falls, Montana.
And that's really one of the good places that the mentor team can help when you're looking at places not to get stuck or places
Yeah.
maybe
I totally-
to ask more before you go there,
Yep.
so you have a way to get out. And that's really one of the things that we emphasize as well is it's not really the number of loads you take, it's the loads you take.
Right.
Yeah.
And we talk
Yeah.
to our teams often. We may get turned down 80% of the time when we put in for loads. We really don't care about that
Yeah.
because all we really need are the loads we need, and we're very satisfied with those loads.
Absolutely.
So
And just knowing what it is. I mean, you can take a bum load and make it a good load.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
We've taken a handful of them. The one that always pops in my mind is Eric and I were at home. We'd already gone off for the week. We were home for home time. We're not going to run. And FedEx called us and said, hey, we need you to do this load for us. It is 1 mile. 1 mile.
Yeah.
And when we got there, it was less. It was like 2,000 feet. It was like nothing.
Yeah.
But because that company's insurance said they couldn't do something, we had to haul it.
Right.
They literally could have put it in the back of someone's pickup truck and just drove it around the corner, and it would have
Right.
been fine. But their insurance wouldn't let them. And so for 1 mile of work that took no time to do, it was $1,500.
Right.
That'll take a bum load and make it a good load
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a like, okay, we're on home time. Let's throw the clothes on, the uniform on. Let's go
Yeah.
out there, do it real quick, come back home, and now we got whatever few $100s in our
Extra money.
pockets from after the fuel and everything. Like it just,
That's one of the things that Dina really emphasized with us is picking loads, and that's one of the things really I think that carries throughout the mentor program.
Yeah.
Is all the loads are out there, and all the people are trying to get the same loads.
Sure.
We're going to try and hopefully show you how to pick the loads that best accomplish your goals.
Yep.
That may be where you go. That may be how much money you want to take. That may be the number of loads you want to take. And I think that's really one of the best parts of it is
Yeah.
picking the loads, the nuance of it.
When I talk to previous tractor trailer teams or solos even that are coming
Right.
on as a team, my biggest talk to them is, look, don't chase the big mile loads.
Right.
You're not running for a rate per mile. You're
Correct.
running for revenue on that load.
Right.
If you see a load that comes across as 300 miles, don't just reject it out of hand
Yep.
because it's only 300 miles.
Yep.
Talk to your mentors. Talk to them
Totally.
about how to make that a better load.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, Melissa and I we ran like 8 loads in a row one time, and not a single one of those loads was over 700 loaded miles.
Right.
And we cleaned up.
Right.
Because we were able to pick up in the afternoon, drop the next morning, pick up in the afternoon, drop the next morning, and we were able to keep moving. And we didn't stack the loads; it just worked out that way.
Right.
But we made some good money on each and every load.
Right.
And we're not looking at, okay, I got to run 1,000 miles or more. No, 300 miles. Okay, I'll run it. Pay
Yeah.
me. I'll run it.
And
Yeah.
the odd thing is that those are the loads that most frequently get overlooked. We had some friends, we were on the beach in California with our friends,
Yeah.
and they were getting ready to go, and they really hadn't done well that month for their standards. And they got an offer for a load that was just 100 or 200 miles,
Yeah.
and it was very minimal money.
Totally.
And we encouraged them to bid very high on it. And
We have a term for that.
yeah. And and they actually got
Yeah, the
awarded
beep
the
button.
load, and because they were awarded the load, when they were awarded the load, FedEx said, you're the only crew that's called.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so those people that would normally overlook those loads,
Right.
those are the loads we help you try and find.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and the motor carrier doesn't want to lose money, right? Like that's
Right.
not their goal.
Right.
But they have to service their customer, and sometimes you win one, sometimes you lose it.
Yeah.
We want overall the carrier to make money.
Correct.
FedEx has to, Panther,
Totally.
all those people, they have to make money.
Right.
But if it's a bad deal, then
They need to fix that.
you could fix it. You could make it right. Does it mean they got to lose a little bit of money? Probably. But you know what? There's going to be that load occasionally. It's going to bite you, and you're going
Yeah.
to be the one taking it.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah.
long as we're equal partners in this,
Right.
it works out. So when people say like, oh, the
It's absolutely
negotiation,
something
oh, don't you feel
acceptable.
bad that you're ripping off FedEx or whatever? It's like, or ripping off Panther, ripping off whatever. No, we're not ripping anybody
Nobody.
off. That's not how
Nobody.
we roll.
Yeah.
It is, and the people that do rip these people
Yeah,
off, they
they
end up
won't
getting,
last.
they don't last. They don't,
Yeah.
because you can't. The systems, the negotiating power is set up. If you negotiate too aggressively, you won't work, and then you'll be out.
Right.
Yeah.
So as long as you stay within a certain lane, and you're making sure, in general, they're making money, and in
Right.
general, you're covering your expenses and making your money, everybody's happy, and it works out nicely.
And we
Yeah,
really try
we-
and emphasize that with our
Hugely.
teams. is
Yeah.
that
All
there's
three of
several
us.
people involved in any kind of exchange.
Yeah.
The people shipping, the people doing the shipping.
Yeah.
There's us.
There's
and there's
you.
Hyfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if any one of us decides we're going to take too big a piece of that pie, then nobody survives.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And all of those people need to survive so that we can keep doing what we're doing. And we really try and keep that focus.
It's a very delicate balance, and it's one that is where the mentor program really shines.
Yeah.
And y'all you've picked this industry up, you've run with it, you've become an amazing team. You've become some very fun people to hang out with, and also watch your adventures and be jealous
Oh,
of.
sure.
You do. I do see some of your stuff on the weekend. And I go like, Eric, you want to go jump in a truck? Like, let's just go. Let's just go do it again. But y'all, and you become great mentors, and
Yeah,
and,
you really
and,
have.
and
Thank
you
you.
produce really good teams, and it goes noticed, and we just really appreciate it, and appreciate the opportunity to build a relationship with y'all,
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
to walk through this with y'all.
I'm proud to say I knew you when. You know,
Yes.
back
We're proud
early
to say
on.
we know you.
You know, and you guys coming out and asking the questions you asked, and just being as successful as you have been, and taking the Lukeshire model of living the lifestyle to
Yeah.
level 1000 has just been fun to watch. It truly has. Anything that you guys want to add in closing? What or let me rephrase that question. In closing,
In closing.
what advice do you guys have for people that are on the fence right now of, is this for me? Is this not for me? Anything that you would tell them to help them make the decision?
We would tell them to do a little bit of research or a lot of research.
A lot of research.
To have some
Yeah.
realistic expectations about what you're coming out here to do. This is not an overly difficult job that we do, but it is still a job.
Sure.
And it has a realistic amount of money that you can make, and it has a realistic amount of effort you have to put in to make that money.
Totally.
You have to learn things. You have to be open to making mistakes and hopefully not be critical of them, not have critical mistakes. But yeah, just do some research. Have some realistic expectations.
Would you suggest that they watch the Lukeshire Extra
Oh,
Adventures
every-
video?
Yeah, totally.
Well, a particular video that I've seen of theirs
Yeah.
called "It's Still a Job."
Yeah, it is. And it's really, we joke about it because that job is what gives us this great gift.
Sure.
We are
Oh, yeah.
we are more fortunate and more happy with all the gifts that we've been given to be out here than we can really explain. The people, the family. One thing that doesn't get emphasized nearly as much is the family aspect of it. Not everybody is out here for the same type of adventure,
Sure.
and that's a little bit difficult thing for us to learn because we're so excited about it. But the family part of it is really important. The people we get to see, to have conversations with, the people that we can call
We
when
even
things
made
are just not.
lifelong friends out here
Yeah.
that are driving. And I mean, even you, I mean, for the first year, I think I sent you a message on Facebook every other weekend, be
Yes.
like, "Oh my God, my life is really great. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for this."
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got we've got quite the running chat now.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's part of why we do the mentor now is because
Yeah.
we want to give back because people gave to us.
Right.
That's
A lot.
literally 100%.
A total lot.
so-
We are really grateful for all of the options that we've had, and it's been one hell of an adventure. I say hell. I said hell.
That's okay.
Just say
We're
it.
okay with
Just say
that
it for,
one.
I mean,
four more
I'm gonna
times.
say it a
Yeah,
couple
exactly.
more
Really
times.
drive from the point.
This isn't my fault.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes, sir.
I think we've reached that time on the show
It's
where we
that
have
time
to
again.
fulfill our obligations.
Oh, the
contractual
contract. Oh, the
obligations.
contract. So today's airplane of the week is a TAP Air Portugal. That is a TAP Air Portugal A320 Neo. And of course, we all know Neo means
The Matrix.
No.
the new engine option
Or the rapper.
or the rapper.
Is he a rapper or a
The
singer?
Matrix.
Follow the blue
Yes.
rabbit.
The blue pill,
with
the
the
white
white
rabbit.
bunny.
What?
Follow the white rabbit.
Yes.
So today we have a TAP Air Portugal A320, and I, along with Eric and our good friend Jerome Barrow and Don, we have a very mixed feeling towards this airplane company, etc. So I was on a trip with them when we flew from Lisbon, Portugal, to the Azores on this TAP Air Portugal A320, and we actually flew out and back on the same plane, and it's a really good plane,
Very quiet.
dead quiet. I told these guys because they'd never flown on one of these new engines. I told them like, you're about to be surprised how quiet it is, and they're like, whatever, you're just an airplane nerd. We're taking off, and
We
we're
are.
just holding conversation like this, and they're like, I was like, I didn't say anything, but they were like, holy cow. Like, it's dead quiet in here.
You
Like,
can
dead.
actually hear yourself think.
Yes,
Wow.
like,
Wow.
dead quiet.
Which isn't always a good thing.
No, it's actually, it gets me in trouble. It's dead quiet. We take off. We fly a couple hours over the ocean, which is, intimidating, a two-engine airplane. Small little one. And but they served us a breakfast and had a great flight. The cabin crew was super nice. It was just a very enjoyable flight over. we tried that gin that Eric loved with the orange juice. So it was like a screwdriver with gin. Anyways,
We call that gin and juice.
No, that's
that makes more sense. Okay, now I follow.
I meant
and it was
in the general.
populous.
Thank you.
So
Demographic.
So it was crazy too because we had actually seen distillery. We had actually seen distillery like advertisements and come visit our gin distillery all over Portugal of the same place. And we were like, whatever, we all don't like gin, so who cares? But we're on the plane and they actually had it. So Eric tried it. He's like, here, you got to try it. And I tried it. And I was like, holy cow, this is really good gin. I don't like gin. I hate gin. But I'm like, this is outstanding. And so
I'm not a fan of hers either.
we landed. You're a bigger fan of brandy, right?
Yes.
So we hang out in the Azores. We have a great time. And then we fly right back. And again, have more gin. And again, the dead quiet airplane. Wonderful crew. That wasn't breakfast. That was lunch. And it was a really great trip. It was fun being there, with Don and Jerry and Eric. It was just kind of a bros trip thing. It just, I don't know. It was really fun. But where it gets difficult is we kind of got screwed by this company as well.
Big time.
How'd you get screwed?
So when we left to go to Portugal, we were going to fly TAP Air Portugal from New York City to Lisbon. And due to weather, a crazy bad weather that was happening in New York City, all the flights to New York City got canceled, and all the flights leaving New York City got canceled. So what Air Portugal did was they waited something like 10 hours and then flew the flight anyways. And because we couldn't make it to New York City, but they still left, even though they were 10 hours delayed, they were like, sorry, you missed your flight. No delay, no refunds, no rebooking
wow.
you, nothing.
Wow.
Yep.
So, it was bad. The four of us were in the Jeep just like, holy cow, we just got epically screwed. And so, I mean, each ticket's, $3,000-$4,000 gone. Just evaporated, just poof,
Jeez.
gone. So, I jumped on with American Express, and they were actually able to convert a bunch of our points over and got us on free flights. It ended up, it was like $12,000 or $13,000 in points. Thank God we had. But so they were able to do it for free, so it didn't cost us any real money, but still it hurt. It's a kick to the stomach when that happens. And we were able to jump on a Delta flight and fly over there and still make our trip happen. We were a day late. We lost a day in Portugal over it. But yeah, just sorry, don't care.
Oh.
Wow.
Guess you should have
That's
planned better. Guess we
terrible.
should have planned for a
A
thunderstorm
stormy, yeah.
in New York City. Oh, it was terrible. It really upset us.
Yeah,
And we already had these flights booked, so we didn't cancel them. And when you're in Portugal and you fly to the Azores, there's not a whole lot of options. So it's like on one hand, we had a really great experience with them, and on the other hand, the worst kind of experience you could have. So very conflicted with these people. So if you get on the airplane, it's wonderful. It is
Very nice.
There's a very nice company. Just keep in mind, just be wherever you're going to be to fly away 2 days early, because they will leave you and just take all your money.
Oh, that's super sad.
So that's TAP Air Portugal.
I think we both agreed that we both never want to try to fly them again.
I don't. I
Yeah.
really don't. I mean, I'm an airplane nut. I would love to be on one of their wide body, airplanes and do the cross the pond thing, but they've got such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, I can't take that risk.
Yeah.
I can't take the risk of losing another. I think it was like $7,200 for Eric and I. That just gone. I can't take that risk again. So, sorry. You've lost a person who, like Eric and I go to Europe a couple times a year, and they've just lost our business. Like, gone. Sorry. Anyways, it was frustrating. But if you are in Portugal and you are going to fly to the Azores, 9 out of 10. They're really, really solid. Really great airline. So, and again, brand new jets, dead quiet. Great food. Try the gin. Well, I just want to echo back what Vince was saying. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank
We
you, guys.
appreciate this. It's been so much fun having y'all over. It just happened to work out where y'all were going to be here for the weekend and we could hang out. And it's been great. I appreciate it so much. I know it's intimidating anytime we invite people on, but
Say the least, right?
y'all knocked it out of the park.
Yes, you did.
Y'all were great, and we really appreciate it. You made tonight so much fun. And in the meantime, we just wish y'all safe travels. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you guys. I
Yep.
appreciate it.
If you're
Thank you.
considering
No, not yet,
it, Hyfield
Melissa.
Trucking.
Oh,
Leave 'em on.
Oh,
thank you.
sorry.
Hyfield Trucking.
Jerry,
If you would like to do what we do over here and join the Hyfield family, please visit our website at www.hyfieldtrucking.com. You can chat live with any of our representatives over there who can tell you all about what we do over here in the expediting industry. That is Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you listen to this on your favorite streaming podcasting app. We are available on all of those. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We post a lot of social media stuff over there all the time. We would love to chat with you. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything you heard about the podcast that you want to chime in on, go ahead and shoot us over an email at theouterbeltpodcast@gmail.com.
awesome. And in the meantime, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for sharing us with your friends and family. Thank you for all you do. Continue to drive safe and make good decisions.
And don't leave money on the table.
And keep those wheels a turning.
Good night.